Hey you guys, it's Clary Berry and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about alcohol. I've been learning a lot in my nutrition class, even just in this one chapter about alcohol, and I feel like, you know, I'm a pretty intelligent person, but for the longest time I really downplayed my alcohol abuse. And even as a vegan, as a really health conscious vegan, I really downplayed it for a really long time. And it's really easy to focus on health as just food and fitness and kind of let the other things slip. And that's definitely not something that you want to do, especially when the number one diseases, preventable diseases that are attributed to alcohol. And granted, having good nutrition will help you prolong like alcohol problems for a lot longer, but it's still really not good for you. And I think one of the things that helps people to kind of stay in denial about alcohol are these studies that say that alcohol is so good for you. The way they have it set up, it even looks like on this J curve that if you drink no alcohol is less healthy than drinking some alcohol, okay? But I mean, think about this. All of the benefits of drinking are negated after one or two drinks, or possibly even a half of a drink for women, and as low as one drink for men, up to 2 drinks for men. So, and that's per day. So, and also I want to interject here that when you're talking about what a standard drink is, a standard drink is so small. It's smaller than most drinks that we're drinking, okay? Especially if you're making a glass of wine or if you're making a mixed drink. Usually, even at the restaurants, 80% of them were bigger than standard size. So you may think, oh, I've only had 2 drinks, when in all actuality, you've probably had more like 4. So that is definitely a problem. Binging in general, it's 4 drinks for female at a time and 5 for males. And I think sometimes we think about binge drinking as so much more than that, and it's really not. Like I said, anything over 1 to 2 drinks for males and a half to 1 drink for females is taking away all benefits, okay, and leading to problems, because that's how long it takes for you're having an excess where your body can't metabolize it. Even if you can metabolize it, it's still hurtful on a cellular level, okay? But people are in denial about this because they hear, oh, it's good for you, and there's this study. And first of all, the studies aren't even conclusive. It may just be the resveratrol. My book says it is a possibility that's just the resveratrol in the wine and it's not anything else. We all know in the back of our mind, binge drinking, excess drinking leads to a lot of the causes of death. Arrhythmia, heart arrhythmia, there's lung fluid retention, high blood pressure, stroke. You should also know that the byproduct from metabolizing alcohol is a carcinogen. So like I said, even if you're not overdoing it, your body is still producing a carcinogen out of the ethanol that you're taking in, regardless of what kind of drink you're drinking. So really, the book turns around and says there's no safe level at all. So we have to say, wait a second, I thought there was this benefit. Well, for your heart health, possibly might be a benefit. You know what? The link probably has to do with people who drink just a little bit are balancing out the effects of being a little bit more stressed out. Alcohol is narcotic. It helps you to not feel. So if you're feeling stressed out, you're going to feel less stressed out, and that's why people drink. And this euphoria in the brain from the neurotransmitters, that's also an issue. It makes you feel better for a while. Okay, so feeling better and feeling less stressed can actually help you to have less problems with your heart. Positive emotion is always better for your heart. But like I said, after 2 drinks, that all goes away. Who do you know that drinks and only drinks half to 2 drinks? Or a half? How many females do you know that drink a half of a drink to 1 drink at a time? Only, every time. Or they only drink, for a male, they only drink 1 to 2 drinks. It's kind of like somebody made up this study just to try to tell us to drink, because when people think about drinking, they're like, oh yeah, it's good for you. Well, actually, that's when you're talking about heart disease. Okay, if you can drink 1 to 2 drinks or half a drink to 1 drink as a female, then that's great. Go ahead and do it. Just know that over that, there's no benefit for your heart. And then also, again, this cancer risk, the carcinogen that is made is outside of that. So that's why it seems so different for them to say, oh, it's good for your heart. And that's all you hear about. Everybody knows alcohol is good for your heart, right? Because the people, you know, the corporations want to sell their product. Nobody hears that alcohol metabolism causes damage to your cell walls and your proteins in your cells, and you don't hear that it's a carcinogen. Nobody fucking knows that. I wonder why, okay? And this is a problem considering, you know, alcohol is one of the top 3 leading preventable causes of death. It's smoking, obesity, and alcohol, okay? There are more deaths from alcohol than like all the other drugs combined. So again, there's no safe level for this carcinogen. Cancer is the #2 killer in America. 1 out of 4 people who die from cancer. 1 out of 4 people die from heart disease. So again, you're hurting your heart and you're hurting every cell in your body when you drink more than half to 2 glasses respectively, okay? Your liver, obviously, everybody knows that your liver is damaged, but it can also cause osteoporosis, brain damage, problems in your stomach lining, inflammation, intestinal bleeding, pancreatitis, immune problems, infections. It can affect your sleep. It can cause impotence. It can cause actually hyper or hypoglycemia. It can be really bad for people who have diabetes, and actually, since there's so many people who have diabetes and don't even know about it, that can be a really big problem. It can cause abdominal obesity. It can raise your triglycerides and cause nutritional deficiencies, okay? And also you should know that in liver disease, the whole first stage of liver disease, while it is reversible, there's no signs. So you could be going through the first stages of liver disease and not even know it. It can really affect your nutrients. Like, it really affects B6 or niacin, all the fat soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and which D, you know, and A lot of Americans are actually deficient in the first place. So again, if you are going to drink, eating a high carb, low fat vegan diet would be better, but I really encourage you, if you haven't cut down or quit drinking already, to look into that and look into anything you're telling yourself, because I knew that binge drinking was bad, but I thought it was a little bit more. I knew that excess drinking is bad, but I thought it was more. I thought the limit was more. I didn't realize that as a woman, I could only drink a half to 1 glass or 1, you know, serving, standard serving, again, of alcohol before I was causing my body problems, you know. And looking back, I've always abused it, always. Ever since I was 14 years old, I've been abusing alcohol. Another thing that's really crazy to me is that 40% of high school students drink. And 40% of high school students, and you know, I was definitely part of that 40%, and 70% of college students drink, and of those, about half of them are binge drinking. You know, in this society, in America, 1 out of 12 people meets the criteria for basically having alcoholism or alcohol dependency, or at the very minimum, alcohol abuse. And 30% are at high risk of it. And that's a lot, you know, 1 in 12, that's a lot. And so I really encourage you, like I said, to kind of take a closer look at whether you are one of those people and what that means for your life. Because I was like, oh, it's not causing me any problems, you know, I can still drink with my friends or here and there, and like, it was affecting my nutrition. I was putting myself at risk. It just makes your decision making so horrible. I can't believe that I would even want to do that anymore. Like, and I'm so grateful now that I stopped drinking. I have all of my time. I don't have to waste a whole day with a hangover. I don't have to waste a whole day of good nutrition by eating shitty just because I drank a little bit last night. Because even when I didn't get drunk but drank a little bit, it was still affecting my food choices the next day. So, and I have less empty calories. Like I said, I can literally feel my body healing. Oh, I think I said that in the last video. So anyway, just a little public service announcement. I know that cutting out alcohol is something that I've been pondering around, and Freely and Durian and all the great people at 30 Bananas a Day were always against alcohol. And like I said, for the first 2 years of my vegan career, I was still drinking. I was still binge drinking, technically, on the weekends, almost every single weekend. And I slowly cut down and I slowly got away from it. And I thank God that I've had such good influences in my life, and that I found this vegan diet where I'm more in control of my emotions, that I don't need to rely on alcohol to try to balance me out or try to de-stress, because now I do yoga and now I do deep breathing, or, you know, I really don't feel like I have near the problem with stress that I used to. You know, I handle breakups better. I handle my kids' problems better. Any little problem that comes up, I feel like I'm in more control because I have more carbs in my system. I'm on an even keel. So if you haven't tried the high carb vegan diet, I definitely highly recommend that, especially if you have a problem with drinking and you haven't come to high carb veganism. Then I think the high carb veganism can help you cut down your drinking as well. So, you know, and getting lots of sleep and drinking water and all of it has been a great thing to do instead, and it's helped. And I know they say, like a lot of people say, people with alcoholism or people who have problems with alcohol usually always replace it. But I don't necessarily think that you need to replace it with caffeine or smoking. That's one of the examples they use. And they say it's even better to be a smoker than it is to be a heavy drinker. But you don't need to replace it with something unhealthy. You can have good habits that, you know, exercise or different things, drinking water, like I said, and maybe a little bit of coffee or teas, whatever, yoga. That'd be a great one. So anyway, I think I've made my point. Thanks so much for watching and being with me on my journey. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care.